Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Today we're going to talk about someone who is actually deserving of the Khalifa, someone who was from the 10 people who were promised paradise, and the only thing that stopped him from being a Khalifa was his death due to plague. And that is Abu Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah, radiallahu anhu. This individual, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam called Amin Hadi al-Ummah. He said, this is the trustworthy man of this nation. And it was said about him that after Abu Bakr and after Umar, it was Abu Ubaidah who was an individual of status. He was an individual who was respected by his peers, and he is someone who was considered trustworthy by all. And even after he sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, there were a number of companions who rushed to him, and there are a number of the Ansar who rushed to him saying that we want to take allegiance to you. And he said, no, you cannot take allegiance to me while Abu Bakr is still amongst us. And he himself went and gave allegiance to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. So what is it that we want to talk about? We want to talk about how is it that he became, or how is it that he is described as such a trustworthy person? And there are a few incidents that I want to share with you that I think are really important. The first of them is Abdullah ibn Umar. He said that there were 3 people who were considered trustworthy. And these 3 individuals, they would give you their ear, they would not accuse you of lying, and they would sit and they would listen to what it is that you had to say. He said the first of them was Abu Bakr, the second of them was Uthman, and he said the third of them was Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah. The second story is from his father, Umar radiallahu anh, where he went to Jerusalem after its conquest, and he saw 3 people, right? He saw Yazid ibn Abi Sufyan, he saw Khalid ibn Walid, and he saw Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah. When he turned and he looked at Yazid, and when he looked and turned at Khalid, he said that you guys have become spoiled. Look at the way that you're dressing. You know, you think that now that you've gone on for these conquests and you've gotten in all of this war booty and this wealth, that you delve into the fineries of this life. And they said, we're still ready. We have our armor underneath this. We haven't changed. And Umar, while not fully pleased with the answer, he took it as it was. And then he turned to Abu Ubaidah and he said, you have not changed. And this consistency is something that is really important. To the point where he even asked him, he said, Ya Abu Ubaidah, why don't you take more? And he radiallahu anh responded, he said, what I have is sufficient for me. So how do we develop this trustworthiness? And just by looking at these few stories, by giving an ear and by listening to others, giving others an opportunity to speak, not jumping in and jumping to conclusions. This is not from the characteristics that he radiallahu anh had. Also being consistent and being true to ourselves. This is something that is really important. Regardless of what happened in the world around him, regardless of all of the changes and the fineries and the luxuries, he decided to stay humble. And he decided to maintain his lifestyle and how it was, even though he was not denied any of that wealth. But what did he do with it? He spent it in Allah's cause. He spent it helping others. He spent it in a good way. And this is something, again, that is important. In order for us to be trustworthy, we really need to learn how to deal with others and how to deal with wealth. Because if we are true to these 2 things and true to ourselves, it allows us to be true to our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should all try to be trustworthy. We should all work hard to listen to others. We should all work hard in engaging with others so that we learn how to engage with ourselves, and we can become better Muslims, we can become better citizens, we can become better for ourselves, and we can become better to others. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq and make us all trustworthy. Ameen.